Hi guys, and welcome to your Tuesday release, or Wednesday, depending on where you are in the world. It's your Wednesday release of Ikebukuro Westgate Park, episode 3. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way quickly. I am recovering from tonsillitis. I probably sound awful. I apologise. I personally think I've got a bit more of a baritone. Normally my voice is pretty annoying and high, so I sound a bit more toned down right now. And I'm trying to do it just to avoid triggering my poor tonsils, and it just aches. It's horrible. But I want to talk to you guys about this episode because of how much I love anime, and nothing, not even my tonsils, are going to get in the way of me talking about anime. Let us begin. The title of this week's episode is Zetta Movie's Metropolitan Theatre. This week's episode's really ironic because this video is about essentially a YouTuber, and this me finally getting serious with my YouTube account, so it felt a little bit ironic. I would probably not be a fan of the Onion Man, I'm afraid. Not my kind of video I like to watch. Right, let us go straight into our open, where we have... So we've got the 01, who I actually remembered 01's name. I was very impressed. And we've got my boy Makoto, and we have Isegai, who... I'll leave it for a moment. I just want to say I completely saw that coming, where we just kind of get a brief introduction to Zetta Movies, which is supposed to be YouTube in this sense, where we look at the birth of video streaming and video sharing, and it's essentially the birth of the internet. You've got cat videos, you've got guys trying to throw themselves off bridges with like bungee jumping, and we even find out that the Red Angels have videos on Zetta Movies as well. They essentially just use the intro for episode 2 with our boy dancing. I thought that was kind of fun that we had a little tie. The Red Angels don't really appear during this episode. We have Isegai who's floating around, but that's about it. We go into our credits rolling with the information that the video creator is the highest job list on what most children want to do when they're asked what do you want to be when you're older. They go, YouTuber. To be fair, this is really ironic. I've just come home from work and my boss has literally just spoken to me about his child kind of trying to release videos on YouTube, and he's like a 10-year-old. So this was a video going through in the office today. So it's very ironic. So we need to talk about Zetta Movie, which is supposed to be YouTube. Every time someone goes, Zetta Movie, I was just like, just say YouTuber. It's just a YouTuber. So it's essentially the same, where every video uploaded, you get paid by your views. I wouldn't know. I am doing this for the love of anime. I am not paid. I am here for the love of anime. Just anime. Where I think they said that it was 0.1 yen for each view. So if you were to get 100 views, you get paid £1. King asked Makoto to look into one of these video creators, as this creator has asked the G-Boys for a bodyguard. I noticed this. Makoto is hanging with Isegai. And if you remember last episode, I said Isegai and Makoto were both almost similar, and they both play the same role in their retrospective groups, where their similarity and their roles are both the same. They're both essentially the number 2 of both of their groups, but Makoto not quite, because he's as much as he almost is the number 2 for King's number 2 is the guy of the coins, but Koto's just there. But they do seem to have very similar roles. So when I saw them both hanging out, and he even goes on to tell us that he's been spending a lot of time with Makoto, it's like, I knew it. You two are like identical. You're like, and 01 even says a little brother. It's the guy is looking up to Makoto as a little brother would, which is, it's just a cute moment. Makoto kind of knocks his comment away by going, it's good to have a link to the Red Angels number 2. We need to look into what kind of guy this man is. And we now meet 140 Star Ryusuke, who is a video creator. And he is the one who's requested the bodyguard. Oh, this guy. I would not be a subscriber to this guy. He's just cringy. I've never been a big fan of, I'm going to throw myself down a staircase full of views kind of thing. I just prefer watching quality content, the finest content. Just not this guy. Where he introduces himself on camera at the same time, and then his thing is he'll eat a raw onion live for the subs and for the content. And he even goes, try this at home, it's really good. Onion is great for you. Eating raw onion is really good for you. I just wouldn't risk eating a whole raw onion, because I think too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So I really wouldn't risk doing that at home. we visit this guy's house, which is, he looks rich. I don't understand how this guy is struggling for money when his studio is really, really rich. And as well, I mean, Ikebukuro Westgate Park is a district or an area near Tokyo, so that can't be cheap. He has 1.2 million subscribers. It's okay. I have 135 and I love every single one of you. It's fine, whatever. This guy doesn't appreciate his subs. I do. And if you are not subbed, please go over to the like button and the subscribe button. Give it a little bit of love and make my day, as I am suffering horrifically with tonsillitis and it sucks and I hate it. Sorry, I'm back again. I'm back. Let's go. Let's find out why this guy needs a bodyguard. And we are introduced to Todabashi Destroyer Z. I'm going to be calling him the Monkey Man because I don't like either of these two groups and I'm not fussed. And they're not going to be in next episode, so Monkey Men it is. They are a group of 4 monkey masked men. I dare you guys to try saying that whilst you're drunk. Really fast. Monkey masked men. These guys go around vandalizing property for their content. I kind of think if this was on YouTube, they would definitely get banned because property damage is still a crime, so I'm pretty sure it would go against terms and conditions for YouTube. So these guys probably would not last long on YouTube. These guys have been blowing up recently. The content is very popular, where they have recently made a diss track about the Onion guy, because diss tracks are now a thing, where Onion Boy made the big mistake of, instead of leaving the diss track alone, he fired back his own and he installs these gorillas and he fights back. It turns out he's a few days away from, I think it's 4 days away from his 5-year anniversary, where he's got big dreams, guys, big dreams for his 5-year anniversary sub drop. He's gonna throw himself down a escalator. That's his big dream. And the Monkey Boys have filmed a image where they congratulate and they understand that his 5th anniversary is coming up, where we see an onion on like a very badly drawn face, and they smash it where they threaten him, where that's why we've decided we need a bodyguard to save this guy until the 5th anniversary, where he can roll down an escalator, because that's our plot. This week's plot is very different from the last 2, where we've had a very serious plot with drugs and actual crime. This week it's just YouTubers being YouTubers. Makoto asks, is there actually any meaning behind your videos, or we just get, nah, there's no content, there's no meaning behind any of this at all? It's like, yeah, I don't think there would be. I mean, he's definitely not making a political statement rolling down the stairs or eating an onion. But he does say, even if it's pointless, people find joy in my work. I mean, he's got 1.2 million subs. People must find some kind of entertainment in his work. He does say something quite nice, that you don't need to have a worldview to be on the net. You just need to have a brief, pointed depiction of the world, where essentially, if you do something you love, or I'm on the YouTube because I loved traveling and I just like talking about anime. It's very nice to, especially now that you guys are a little bit more active and seeing some of the comments, seeing that you guys love it as well. That makes me happy. That's all I'm here for. It's quite nice that we can have this like video here. It's almost like Ikebukuro Westgate Park knew. They knew that the YouTubers would be reacting to this video. The G-Boys agree to protect him for 4 days. And they both agree that Makoto and the Onion Boy are both just weirdos at the end of the day. Where we see King. This is, to be fair, this is the biggest mystery of the episode, guys. King is looking between 2 flyers. A macho party and a hip-hop party. I don't know what it's for. I really want to see King at both. He picks the macho party, much to his number 2's dismay, as he's kind of like, no, and he just hands it across. That is the biggest mystery of this episode, and I want to know more about that. Where we go now to Makoto doing his stakeout at the studio, where King calls him and says that the monkeys are now in position. We spotted them. They're outside in the car, and we see Onion Guy getting very, very excited, which started to trigger my kind of suspicions. I was a bit sus of him from this point on, where he gets really excited. He's like, let's take a picture of him, and it's a great idea, and he wants to share it with his subscribers. And Makoto's like, no, you need to avoid it. We want to avoid violence. You need to not do it. And as well, to me, I was like, you're not learning your lesson. You're just making it worse. Where he says you need to leave it to King. And this is getting serious now. So King commands many people. This is going to be serious. So leave it. Where he goes, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I didn't, instead of like honing in on how weird it is that we kind of see him go into the bathroom, I went, oh, he's got a nice camera. What kind of camera has this man got? I have a nice camera. I don't use it for filming. I just have a nice camera sitting around for no reason, catching duff. But I was very big into my photography a few years back. Let's tick now to the second day, where Makoto talks to the employees. And Makoto talks to both of the employees, where he finds out that the more dangerous videos out there are starting to get heavier restrictions on them. I think maybe the Onion guy is probably okay, but vandalizing stuff on YouTube, it's going to get you banned. So this is very similar that, if anything, it's almost like this video is trying to mimic YouTube in a sense, because obviously YouTube's gone through many algorithm changes in the past. It feels like they're basing it off something, where we find out that video content is now being more monitored, more restricted, and the pay is dropping. We get a phone call saying that the monkeys have gotten away, and Onion returns, which is where my suspicion, 100% at this point, I was suspicious of the guy. I didn't trust him at all. And it's weird, he said. It's really weird because obviously the G-boys are really on it. There's loads of them and they're very alert usually. So it's very strange that the monkeys managed to get away with the boys all out there. You guys can't see my notes, and I've put, is this all a setup? Because of the way Onion was reacting, and the fact that even as Makoto's like, I really want to see your video, I want to protect you, the Onion starts to sweat, and it's just like, if someone's telling you, I want to protect you, the first thing you do is generally you thank him back, or you don't react by sweating under the collar and acting shifty. Next day, Onion Guy's car has been vandalised. We find out that the lookouts were also targeted where they were taken into hospital, which is the worst part. And this is where it becomes personal, and King himself now involved. The police are there and everybody's turned up, but the Onion Man, instead of being upset that his car has been busted up, he's too busy streaming. He's literally streaming, shaming the monkeys online, making a video. He only cares about the content, which is why I'm like, this is a setup. This has to be a setup, because the guy's not making money, so he's trying to make bigger, bolder videos to try getting more money in, because he's panicking that his videos aren't making enough money. The police have even said, you need to stop filming, and the guy's ignoring them. We circle back to 01. We see a lot of 01 in this episode. He's quite a cool character. He's kind of growing on me. 01 tells us that the monkeys at this point in time have posted nothing. The diss track and the car video that Onion posted has got over 500,000 views already. So he's making money. So he's making money off the back of his car. I don't know how much his car is worth, but doing a bit of brief maths, he's probably made about $5,000 off one video, maybe a bit less. So he's making it back in his videos for sure, but it's just such a big length to go to for the views. The monkeys then upload a video where 01 tells Makoto that he needs to go and get some more information from the employees. He's onto something. He suspects something is up, where Makoto asks both the employees to come to the park later on to discuss everything. We find out from our boy Gong that the studio is downsizing, and he was only just told last night that he's cutting his expenses, where Makoto points out that Onion must make a lot of money, which is what I was thinking. It's like, this guy isn't exactly short of money. Gong says the lower pay rate is catching up with the studio, so it's starting to get tight. He finally says that the fight between the two is pro wrestling. And I cut to take a picture at that point anyway, when I was like, wait, does he mean it's fake? And I felt really bad. I was like, oh no, I feel bad saying that pro wrestling is fake. I felt awful. But then he says it's all arranged. So they arrange it ahead of time. It's all a setup. Basically, they're trying to help each other raise their businesses, because to be fair, both of these channels are making money as they're dissing each other. I think a long time ago, a friend told me that any form of fame, and even if it's infamy, is still fame nonetheless, because people are saying your name. We also find out that Onion agreed to having his car trashed. I already kind of called that because of the way he reacted to it. Onion Guy was also at blame. He leaked the information about the monkeys about the G-boys having him surrounded. He was basically using Makoto and King for more exposure. And we end on quite a bit of a solemn note where Gong says, I've been fired, even though he's paying King and he's paying the monkeys. Isn't it kind of sad? I felt bad. I did feel bad. At the end of the day, I still think Onion is still an a-hole. I don't like him. He's being quite selfish, and all he really is focusing on is his channel, not so much the people who are helping him out. At the end of the day, I'm not giving him his name. He doesn't deserve it. We're calling him Onion regardless. We get a quick scene with Makoto calling Onion out, pretty much saying, you know what, jig's up, I know everything. And he says, you've made a big mistake tricking King, because that's the worst part, because you hurt some of his men. And there's a rumour going around, that anybody who makes King mad, they get never heard from again. And we cut to my boy Makoto. I've told you guys already that Makoto really is my favourite character. Although there is a scene later on which it rocked things for a second or two. We get a nice picture of Makoto rubbing some apples, and then Yokoi appears asking, he's in a pretty shocked state. The other employees, so there were 2 employees working for Onion, and he says there's been a falling out between Onion and the monkeys over pay. Onion still is going to go ahead with filming, regardless of how dangerous it may be, and he begs him to help. He says, I know you're in no position to help us, but please, there's got to be something you can do. Next day, Makoto, being the precious boy he is that he can't turn away, he appears outside and he says, I'm going to see this through to the end, which is why I think I really like Makoto as a character. He's the kind of character who doesn't give up halfway. If he agrees to do something, he will see it through. They arrive at our location where the monkeys arrive and knock out poor Yokoi, who is now out for the count. And then they run up the staircase to go for Makoto and Onion. And then King! If you guys have been following the actual breakdowns and how conflicted I am because of his voice actor, but this man looks so good. Right this moment when he's going down the escalator on the other side, he looks so good. I like his style. I really like King's style, and he looks so good. I love what he's wearing at this point in time. He just calmly just goes down the escalator and he glares at the monkeys, and then whilst the monkeys are too busy looking at King, the G-Boys come down the escalator towards the monkeys, where they get kind of beaten up and cornered. And then we get the scene I was talking about, like almost shattered Makoto's leader for the top boy. Almost, but Makoto still has it. King has a hammer in his hand. And he's like, do you know who the Hammer Bros are? And the guy's like, no. And then, this movement is so swift. King flips the hammer up and it catches the light as it goes up. It's a really nice sequence where it does a flip and it comes back down. He grabs the hammer and it's inches away from this guy's face. And then there's his angry face. And I'm just like, damn, man. Damn, this is the first time we've actually seen King close to flipping out. Like, every time we've seen King so far, he's been this calm, chilled, calculated character. He doesn't say a great deal. I even said last week from the episode of his fight scenes are very calculated. He doesn't waste movements. He doesn't hop around the stage like a monkey. He stands there calculated, and when he goes into punch, it's because he's calculated that punch. This is the first time we've seen him very close to losing it, but at the same time, I say that it's losing it. It's not quite. The whole movement of the hammer going up was calculated. And if we look at the character himself, who wears a lot of greys and his eyes are this very chilled out blue, he's a very calm, chilled character. So despite him being angry, and he is angry, he is still controlled. He has self-control. He's able to stop this hammer inches from the guy's face. It's a spectacle. I love it. It was amazing. He falls into this moment where he goes straight into threatening the guy, but at the same time, it is such a good moment. It probably is my favourite part of this episode, hands down. Loved it. I'm still conflicted with King, but I do love this man's sense of style. He's amazing. And the voice actor works for him. He's got this his voice is very, he talks really calmly. And he says to him, you hurt my people, where Makoto is the one to stop King, where I initially said, even though Makoto's not technically a G-boy, he and Isegai both are technically almost mimicking each other, where they both are almost number 2s, where he has the power to stop King, and King doesn't move at this point. Well, as soon as Makoto stops him, he kind of gives up. He goes, fine, suit yourself, and walks off. It's just seeing the power that Makoto has, and King is willing to listen to Makoto. So I am hoping at some point, I'm enjoying the episodic themes we're getting, but I would like some backstory into Makoto and King's meeting and why the two respect each other the way they do. I'd like that. I hope that happens. Onion apologizes on the floor. He's like, I'm so sorry. Just let me fall down the stairs. He's begging this guy for his forgiveness, but he's like, please let me throw myself down this staircase. Makoto's just like, please just let him do it. He's got 1.2 million people watching him. And King just walks off. He's like, yeah, suit yourself, whatever. It's such a chill moment with King. And even though we've obviously heard these rumors about King, like, killing, perhaps murdering people or getting people to do that, although people vanish. I need more information on this man, I really do, and I think this, because how clever this anime is, it's giving us little nuggets at a time and not getting too much at once. King still is this big enigma, and I want to know more. We get to the 5th anniversary video where the guy throws himself down the staircase. We cut back to our boys, Makoto01 and Igozai is back, following Makoto like a little lost sheep. We find out that after he did that video, he had to go to hospital with some fractures, where he paid in full for the bodyguard service, and King eventually did forgive him. We get this nice little moments now where we see 01. He makes a little note that, to survive in today's changing world, you need to be able to adapt. But at the same time, instead of complaining, why don't you just upload a video or two? I'm doing that. I'm trying. I'm uploading. I'm doing it. Makoto pays him in ramen. And you guys know it. Clockwork Dandy Noodle approved. Because I live on ramen. Ramen fuels Clockwork Dandy Noodles. I want to call every single subscriber a noodle. Every subscriber comes together to make a bowl of ramen. Currently there's 135 pieces of ramen in the bowl. Come on, guys. Subscribe and become a piece of noodles. We will talk about anime. The anime will become the thing that binds us together. It will be the sauce. It will be the broth. The last line of the episode is Makoto saying, why don't I try uploading a video too? How about you eat this ramen with some sherbet on top? And it's like, no, just no. So a very different video compared to the last two. And it feels like a flip from what I've been saying in many other videos this season, where we've started funny and they've gone dark, where this one started quite heavy and it's had quite a light episode, because we started with things like drug dealing and we started the very bad company with the curry guys. So we've had very heavy episodes so far, but this episode was quite light, and it also felt quite relevant with the fact that we're all online nowadays, and it felt relevant. It was a nice episode. There wasn't much to take away from it. Obviously, I think there's an overarching plot going on. I don't see too much in this one. This one just felt a little bit different from the other two. Who knows? Maybe there's something dark going on, which is going to come back and bite us. I think the most key points here was just establishing some of the roles that everybody's carrying out. It gives us a bit of information on King. The best moment of this episode was seeing King beautifully catching that hammer in mid-fall and almost like smashing some guy's face in. It was just beautiful. It was so beautiful to watch, even though it was like going to be a very violent moment if it had gone through. I am really enjoying Ikebukuro Westgate Park, and I can't wait to see where the series is going to take us. Thank you guys for tuning in each week and supporting me. I am having so much fun talking about Ikebukuro Westgate Park. There's not too much to say about the episode as a whole. I don't think there's too much deep going on. I think it's just we've had quite a nice light break. We're getting to spend some time with our characters. We get to spend a bit more time with Makoto. We get to see how he's hanging out with Isegai. We also get to see 01 in action, which is quite nice because he's a G-boy. We've been introduced to him before. The episode does serve a purpose. It gives us a bit more world building. We get to see a bit more about the world that these guys live in. Ikebukuro Westgate definitely exists as a place in Tokyo. I feel like this is set in almost a mirroring world where it's the same as us, but it's slightly different, where obviously these characters are fictional. It's nice to kind of get a glimpse of the world that these guys live in and how it's different from the one we are. It's not so different in the sense that we do have YouTube. We can relate to people like this guy here, the youngin guy, trying to do things for the views. It's a great episode. It's quite nice storytelling. It's chilled, a bit more relaxed this week. So I've had a great time. Fantastic episode. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Briefly with the schedule, tune in on Monday for Moriarty, Monday to Tuesday for Golden Kamui. Ikebukuro Westgate Park will come out on Wednesdays, and normally very early in the morning, whilst Noblesse takes the later role in that day. And The Journey of Elena takes the Friday role. So that is what you can catch up doing with me. Thank you again. Thank you for all the comments. I'm really enjoying actually reading some of them this week. You guys have been very chirpy this week. I love it. It's great to see other people getting excited and sharing opinions of the animes. Fantastic. Can't wait. This is what we're here for. This is what I hope to achieve as a channel. I want to get everybody chatting. It's great. So I will see you guys again next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.